Good afternoon from the car park of Stac Pollaidh. That is Stac Pollaidh right in front of you on that sign. It's a sandstone mountain and I'm attempting to climb it today. The weather conditions are not all that great, but there it is in the flesh. Covered in cloud at the top at the moment. It's not as far as it probably looks. It's about a 3-mile round trip and it has an ascent of about 510 meters. The weather is set to be pretty rainy all afternoon, and at the moment it kind of looks like it belongs in the northern Italy region of the Dolomites and things like that. Look at it. You can see it's really jagged at the top. You can't see that part anymore, but that is where the summit is, I believe. Let's see if we can get started on our hike, see how long it takes, and enjoy the beautiful scenery as we go. Let's roll. Stac Pollaidh. And so the characteristics, I think, of this hike is that at the lower level it is fairly green and there's a lot of undergrowth to get through, but when you get a few hundred meters up you then start to get some incredible views of the surrounding scenery. The closer you get to the top, the steeper it gets, as you could probably see from the video. Just a few minutes in and we're already getting some incredible views following this rock path. It's getting fairly steep, but definitely doable. The wildflowers here are beautiful. Slippery though when it's wet. Little stream coming down. Okay, let's press on. I've come up onto this plateau and it looks like pathway somehow heads up to the top of this section, and then I guess you come around towards the peak. I'm making some good progression. The wind is just hitting me in the face and it's really strong. A little bit underwind here because there's a slight embankment there, I think. But this is my third and final hike as I continue my road trip around the NC500. I did Ben Hope, which was a toughie. Scotland's most northerly road. Check the video out for that one. I also did Sandwood Beach, which is Britain's most remote beach, certainly Scotland's most idyllic beach. And then this one is the third and final one. You can see up there, that's where I'm heading. Maybe about 45 minutes to an hour away, I guess. It is still covered in cloud though. This is the pathway going forward, up a little further. And then it's going to hit me, I think, because we've got to get up there somehow. So the path from the car park, it kind of winds or loops around Stac Pollaidh. So that's the way I've kind of walked. I'm now completely behind the mountain, and as a consequence the wind has completely disappeared. That's because it's crashing into the other side of the mountain. So I've got a feeling I'm maybe 10 minutes from the summit. When I get there the wind is going to be insane, I think, and there may also be some rain because there are still clouds covering the top. So before I get to the top, I'll just tell you about that really difficult scramble. So scrambling, first of all, is the bit in between walking and rock climbing. With rock climbing you need special equipment, safety equipment, harnesses and all of that. With walking, everybody knows what that is. Scrambling is kind of, I suppose you could consider this scrambling, because you're climbing over rocks, although really this section is more just steps forged into the rocks. But scrambling is split into 3 different sections. The first grade scramble is fairly easy and straightforward. It is just climbing over boulders and large stones. Number 2 means that there is some danger to it. It could mean that it's a fairly straightforward climb, but it is exposed, meaning that if you do slip and fall, the consequences are death. And number 3, the third scramble, is kind of very advanced. It means it is very exposed and it is a tricky climb over the face of the rock, but it still doesn't come into the region of rock climbing. Switch to the GoPro. The rain has started, but I've been very lucky to get this far. That is the top up there, and I've got to say, the higher you get, the tougher it does actually get, the steeper most definitely it gets. That is a tough section. Look at that rock just perched there. I'm sure it's safe because the rock must weigh hundreds of tons, so adding me to it shouldn't make too much difference. But crazy, look at that. All right, wind is getting up, it's howling over the top of that section there. So imagine an oval with 2 sections at either end that raise. That's kind of what you've got. Okay, let's get up here and then we should be able to see over. Although we're kind of in the clouds now, so we're not going to see a huge amount. Oh yeah, look, car park's down there somewhere. I believe there is an alternate route down, so you don't have to go the same way up and down. Found out just a minute ago, if you follow that path it starts going down, and the main pathway actually loops around the mountain and goes back to the car park. So that's what I'm going to do going back, but as a consequence I nearly skipped seeing this scramble. I really want to see it, so I'll come back up to the top. I'm going to head up this way to see if I can find it. You can get up it that way, but my goodness, I reckon I could get up, but I'm not convinced I could get down, especially with the wind howling like this. I've already got to get down that way. This is a toughie. I mean, I can't even find out how to get to the top here, let alone the summit. I am really close. I mean, there's only maybe 30 feet up there, so I'm really close, but just can't unlock the secret that Stac Pollaidh is keeping from me at the moment, and it is difficult, definitely. risky. I wanted to stay on the other side. I believe I'm behind the wind again now, which is all good. I'm trying to keep down, otherwise I get blown off. Whatever you do, don't look down. So I've got the cannon back out. I'm back kind of in the centre of the top, and unfortunately, even though it stopped raining, it is still really misty and cloudy, so visibility is fairly low, but you can just make out the locks looking northwards over there in the distance. I'm perched behind a rock here, by the way, that's cutting out a lot of the wind. That's why I'm sat here. So the west summit, I have tried going around that way, and I've tried going around that way, but also across the top there, but it is really difficult and very dangerous, especially in the wind. The wind, especially that side, is really strong, as you saw on the GoPro just a few minutes ago. I think I'm going to take a quick stroll up there, the east side, just to see if that's any easier. But let me just give you a quick idea of the views. As I said, that's looking northwards. Over here, oh my goodness, over here, you can see what I mean about it being dangerous around that side. You can just about make out the car park way down there. This is why I decided not to go any further. Right, let's just get back behind this rock. There we go. Right, back behind the rock. Let's try the so-called eastern summit up there. I am pleased to say that I have reached the so-called eastern summit. There we go, that was a lot easier. So getting to the eastern summit is pretty straightforward. Getting to the western summit is almost impossible, especially with these winds. I know I keep saying it, but it's such a massive factor. Safety must come first, and so I'm glad that I made it here. Unfortunately, the views, well, there aren't any. There is just white cloud surrounding the entire peak right now, which is a shame because the views here on a clear day are magnificent. I've seen them before. Who knows what's down there, but it is definitely a pretty steep drop. Okay, well, thanks very much for watching my adventure on Stac Pollaidh. What an incredible place. Who knows, I may be back again someday to climb it, hopefully in better weather, blue skies and a clear day, to get the best out of the view here at the top. I am going to head back down now, take the other circuit around back to the car park. It took about an hour and a half to get up, and that included stopping for 10 minutes for a quick lunch break and a few stops for some video and photographs. So it's not a long hike, but it is a steep one, no doubt about it at all. So I'll leave you with some amazing views of Stac Pollaidh, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, where the road trip around the NC500 continues. Good afternoon from Scotland. It's now hailing, believe it or not. I'm trying to remember how to get down from this area. Oh, it's not here. That's where I'm trying to get to. Once I get there, it's the rocky path down, so I think it's this way.